Well, greetings vinyl community. Today I'm going to talk about the new 50th anniversary release of Grateful Dead from the Mars Hotel. This is from Rhino, and this is the version on green vinyl. Nice green vinyl with these yellow splips and splops in it. This version did sell out on pre-order, so it's not currently available. You might have to dig around if you want this specific version. But they do have a black vinyl version available, as well as a Zoetrope animated picture disc. This has on the labels the little designs of the Grateful Dead that I'll talk about from the back cover of the artwork. And that means that we don't have any track listings on the labels. This is a kind of funny cover because this is a very direct reproduction of the original cover. And on the back, you'll notice there are no credits. There's no production credits. It was produced by the band. There's no credits for the art. The artwork is by Alton Kelly and Stanley Mouse, the iconic figures of psychedelic poster art and underground comics and such. And they have just the song titles, but they're not in the order that they appear on the album. They're just in a random order here. So without the song titles and the songwriters being listed on the back cover or on the label, we just don't have that information on this version. But that's how it was originally put out, with only those titles on the back cover. And you had to look at the labels to see the order in the songwriters. This also has, as reproduced, and I'm not sure I can make this show up on the camera, it has an embossed word authentic along the margin there. That was a reaction to their previous album from 1973, Wake of the Flood, which was heavily counterfeited. So the market was flooded with fake copies of that album, and they wanted to make sure that this album had something that would be very difficult for the pirates to reproduce. So very cool, spacey cover, and on the back we have the Grateful Dead depicted in various spacey and ancient Egyptian and Napoleonic and Roman ways. Very trippy, and just to reinforce that, this edition comes with a sheet of stickers showing those characters, as well as being reproduced on the labels of the vinyl. I just want to hold up the green some more. Try and get that as a thumbnail. So, this being the 50th anniversary reissue, you can do the math and determine that this is an album from 1974. Not really one of my very favorite Grateful Dead albums. It's got a couple of songs that I think are not really terrific inclusions in the Dead catalog, like Loose Lucy is not a great song, Money Money is not a great song, Pride of Cucamonga is one that just doesn't stick in my head. But then it also has some classic songs that became staples of the Grateful Dead's live set, such as U.S. Blues and Scarlet Begonias, great song that lent itself to two-chord jamming and became inextricably interwoven with Fire on the Mountain, another song that lent itself well to two-chord jamming, so those songs became very much a married couple for many, many years in the Grateful Dead's live set. There's also Ship of Fools, another song. I think you used to hear that a lot towards the end of the Dead's live sets when they were coming out of the usual second set long, again, jammy piece where they might be doing Dark Star, or they might be doing a long version of playing in the band medley or something. Unbroken Chain is an interesting song. The song itself is just sort of ordinary, but it has some interesting rhythmic tricks, some interesting dropped beats, and some very unusual use of electronic sounds. Just some little subtle whirs and bleeps that appear and disappear, that just slightly make their presence known. It's very subtle, not at all overpoweringly avant-garde or electronic, just an unusual little color that appears in the song. That's Phil Lesh's doing. It's a Phil Lesh song, and he's the vocalist. Again, the vocals are not terrific on that song. I've got a real fondness for Jerry Garcia's vocals, so the other songs that I've been mentioning, like Scarlet Begonias, Ship of Fools, U.S. Blues, those are Jerry's songs. And so is China Doll, which is my favorite of the tracks on this album. Wonderful, wonderful, slow, somewhat eerie ballad, and a song that sometimes made it to the Grateful Dead's live set. And in fact, I didn't own this album at the time it came out, so the first time I heard China Doll was on the live album that came out in, I think, 1980, Reckoning, Dead Reckoning. So there you have it, the new release from the Grateful Dead in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of its release. The other album I have to show today is Echolocation by Mendoza, Hoff, Revels. This is a new release. You can get it from their Bandcamp. And being titled Echolocation, it's got a little bat on the label. It's got a dolphin on the label. On the back, you get other animals that use echolocation in their lives, the whale and the shrew. This is a quartet, Ava Mendoza on electric guitar and Devin Hoff on electric bass, with James Brandon Lewis on tenor sax and Chris Smith on drums. And this is a very powerful, very loud, jazz rock free excursion. It opens with a track titled Dyscalculia, which is an inability to count. And it starts off with a very doomy sort of sound that puts me in mind of King Crimson, and then goes into a piece where the saxophone interacting with the electric instruments reminds me of Henry Cow. But like most of the tracks on here, it goes into a very noisy free improvisation. It's a free-for-all improvisation because everyone is just squalling at once. It's very dense, rather chaotic, not going to be everybody's cup of tea. One thing I do want to point out on here that I think is really cool is that the last track on the album is titled Babel 17, after the novel by the masterful science fiction author Samuel R. Delany. And that prompts me to toot my own horn because on my album, The Insect Garden, I do a track titled Bellona, which was explicitly meant as a commentary on Samuel R. Delany's work, Dahlgren. That's what I have for today. Thanks very much for watching. Be well. Talk with you again soon. Bye-bye for now.